Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. You are looking at a sketch from Shamel Lane, and today I am going to be using that in a project that is kind of a special project. There are several of us that have gotten together and we are doing a YouTube hop, and we are all stretching the sketch. So this series is going to be a monthly series for a while. There are several of us YouTubers that are taking a sketch each month and adapting it to fit the project that we are working on. So in this case, I am adapting that 12 by 12 sketch to be a 12 by 24, so a double page layout. And you are going to see me having to chop up this paper. It's beautiful paper by Cocoa Vanilla, and then the pink paper that you're seeing on the right hand side there is from One Canoe 2 in their Hazelwood collection. And I only had one piece of the paper from Cocoa Vanilla, that's the black and white, and I only had a partial piece of the Hazelwood one, which is the pink one. And so I'm going to have to chop them up to make them fit across both of those 12 by 12 sheets of paper. So I'll talk more about that a little bit later. First of all, I'm going to start with some mixed media, and you probably saw me marking where my papers were going to fit so that I knew where I wanted to put the mixed media. And these are just some watercolors that I got off of Amazon. They're actually really good quality, and I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce the name of it. I believe it's Gonzai. I'm not sure. I know they're made by Kiritaki, so anyway, they are from Amazon and they're really nice watercolors, and the color that I'm using there is kind of a coppery color, so this layout is going to have an overall coppery tone to it. I'm also going to be using the paper that's in the upper right hand corner there, that is from Stampin' Up, and it is a copper foiled paper. So you'll see me layering that in. I also only have one sheet of that, so I'm having to chop it apart to make it stretch across both pages. And then I have a Prima chalk inker, and it is in the color that is called Teak Wall. It's kind of coppery as well, and the entire layout is going to have that coppery feel to it. At this point, I didn't really remember that I had kind of thought about using that copper paper up in the right hand corner to border my pages, so that's why I wanted to use the inker to make the paper pop off the page. And then it occurred to me as I was inking it, oh, I have that copper paper, but I might as well finish inking it and then add the copper paper. So it was kind of a little bit redundant, but it works out and it looks really good with the copper paper. That foil is kind of sparkly, not sparkly, but you know, it's got that nice foiled look to it, so it kind of makes the black and white paper pop off the page. So most of these strips I cut into, I believe, 3/4 inch length or widths, so that I would have a 1/4 inch reveal around the edge. And for this square piece, I am only going around 3 edges because one edge is butting up to the right hand page. I'm cutting those also at a mitered angle, so when I put this other piece behind it, it looks like it's been mitered, like both pieces are mitered. And I'm going to be doing that behind the single photo that's on the left hand page as well. I'm not going to make you sit through all of it, so I went ahead and cut some of that out because you've just seen me do it here. And this video is already getting pretty long, so I went ahead and cut that out for you. You don't have to sit through it. And when I go ahead and adhere these pieces down, I don't usually make or run a very long strip of adhesive all the way down my page, all the way down the horizontal edge. I kind of do it in diagonals. That way, if I want to pull the paper back up and tuck something under, I can do it much easier than if there is a long strip of adhesive all the way along the edge. Now, before I started this layout, I trimmed my photos down by 1/4 inch on each side, so they are no longer 4 by 6, but they are about 3.5 by 5.5, and that allows me to use 3 photos butted up to each other on the right hand page and still have room to the left of the photos. Had I left them full size, those photos would have spanned all the way across the page, and I wanted to make sure that I left some space to the left so that I could either put some embellishment there, or I just didn't want it to look like I just slapped the photos down across the page. I wanted to have some visual interest and offset it, because in the layout on the left hand side, everything is kind of right justified, so I wanted the photos in the right hand page right justified. I don't know if I explained that very well, but that is why I trimmed them down. I thought it would just keep with the continuity of the sketch, and I actually did follow the sketch fairly closely, and then I added embellishments as well, and you'll see that later in the video. But I did go ahead and use the arrow kind of embellishment that was on the sketch, but rather than using the arrows, I used some hearts that I had fussy cut out of some paper by Fancy Pants. It's paper that is, you can kind of see it at the top of the screen right there. It's from the Millie and June line, and it's called Much Love. Oh, there they are actually. So I went ahead and fussy cut those out before I started the layout, because I knew I was going to be using those, and it brought some additional color to the layout, which I thought was really cool. I didn't want it to just be black and white with a pop of color. I wanted it to have a pop of several different colors, but I am still keeping with the pinkish coppery tones. And then on the back of the hazelwood paper is I guess it's more of like an aqua-toned paper. It has a pattern to it, but it's very, very light, and it reads like a solid. So I'm going to use that for my journaling space. And then I'm using thickers right there that are from, actually I'm not exactly sure what they're from. I can tell you what they're called. I don't know where I got them from, but they're the Celebrate thickers, and they are foam, and they are pink foam on the sides, but then they've got that copper finish on the top. So I'm using those for the word wildlife, and then I will use some other just letter stickers to, I believe that I got from Bella Boulevard, and those will say At the Cabin, and that's going to be where the subtitle was, just below the journaling spot. So I've pulled those hearts out, and I'm just going to go ahead and lay them down where I think I want them. And I want to make sure that I like the way that they look, and I don't need to switch over to something that's more arrow-like, but I do like them. And I've realized that this layout kind of makes me seem like I'm very anal retentive about making sure that things are lined up. And I'm not really that precise, with the exception of getting the foundation lined up where I want it. And because these arrows, there are so many small pieces, I know oftentimes when people write from right to left, they either write on an uphill or a downhill. Usually I believe on an uphill, but anyway, I kind of felt like I was doing that with these hearts. I thought I was kind of going from the right to the left. I thought I was going on a downhill. So I wanted to make sure that I would get them straight. So I just took my T-square ruler and some washi tape and lightly tacked these hearts down. I will go back later with some wet glue and make sure that they are going to stay where I want them. But I lightly tacked them down so that I could easily move them around if I didn't like the order of the colors, or if I found that I was at an angle, or if they were interfering with something else that I wanted on the page, like embellishments that I'm going to add later, or the subtitle. that is going just below them. Now I will do the exact same thing with the T-square ruler on the right-hand page. However, the arrows are not going to be going horizontal. They will be going vertical from the bottom to the top, and then from the top to the bottom as you move further right. And I will just use that. I just have some plain red washi tape. I don't know where I got it. It's really cheap. Probably not something I'm going to use most of the time because I have a lot of nice reds that have patterns on them. So, you know, why not use it? Once I get all of the arrows situated where I want them, I will be adding the subtitle, which is going to read "At the Cabin," and that is going to be done with just some flat black stickers from Bella Boulevard, and you'll see that happen pretty quickly. And then I'm going to pull out my embellishments that I have sorted by color into small black boxes. I cut out most of the process of me pulling out the embellishments because you don't really need to sit there and watch me sort through things. But I will have a pile of aqua embellishments and pink embellishments just above the layouts. You'll see that in just a bit here. And then I'm going to go ahead and start embellishing. Now the reason I went ahead and sorted by color was I spent a lot of time going through all of my embellishments to find just the thing I was looking for, and only to find that I didn't have what I was looking for until I did the next layout, and then I came across what I was looking for. So in order to kind of quicken up the process and to be able to find the things that I wanted and to actually use a lot more of my embellishments, I went ahead and sorted them by color. Now this little turquoise piece or aqua piece that you see me tucking in here is the offcut of the journaling spot. That little piece is going to get moved around quite a bit. So it's not going to end up in that spot that it's in currently. You'll see me moving it around quite a bit. Now I do have a centering ruler that I use. I use it all the time for my letters. I also have the thicker alignment tool, and it's handy, but it's not quite as handy as the centering ruler, which just lives, you know, right in my bag right next to me. So I use that all the time to pull my letters together and figure out where I want them on my layout. I know a lot of people use wax paper, but the ruler just, I don't know, it works better for me. I don't always have wax paper on hand, and so that's what I use. Now I'm using some tonic liquid glue, and that is called Deluxe Adhesive, and it's clear drying craft glue. I'm using that to adhere these letter stickers down. These probably stuck really well once upon a time, but I've had them in my stash for quite a while, so they have lost some of their stickiness, and so I want to make sure that they don't come off, so I'm using that liquid glue to adhere them down. Now there's my two piles of embellishments that I've pulled out in aqua and pink. Another reason that I decided to sort them by color is I wasn't using as much as I should use on some of my layouts, mostly because I couldn't find what I was looking for in the right color or the right shape, or it just didn't cross my mind to go and look for specific items that were hidden in my stash. So this way they're all in one place and I can easily go through them. Now this washi tape, I think it might actually be from one of the One Canoe 2 collections. I'm not 100% sure. I just got a snippet of it in my Secret Not Secret Kit Club kit several months ago, and I have only used a little tiny bit of it, so I wanted to go ahead and use it because it does have that aqua and pink on it, and it just worked perfectly with this layout. So I just pulled the edge off of it so it doesn't have It only has one straight edge. The other edge is a frayed edge from being ripped. And I like the way that looks, and it provides a nice landing spot for my embellishments, or a grounding spot. And a lot of these embellishments, I'm not exactly sure where they came from. I know some of them are from sticker packs, and the heart stickers are from, the little heart puffy stickers are Recollections. And then some of the washi, there's some other washi tapes that were on one of the washi pads, so there was only, you know, like 3 or 4 inches of it. That one there says Little Moments Gathered Together. And then the little round puffy stickers that I'll be adding, the one in the upper left hand corner says Smiles. The one next to the photo with my hand in it says Life is Good. And then the other in the upper right hand corner has a camera on it. And I've added up in the upper right above the girls a little journaling tag that says 2 on it, and I liked that because there are 2 girls in the photo, and I'm gonna make a little note about these 2 girls and how when they get together they always have fun. They're roughly the same age, just a few months apart, and they're always being goofy and silly and putting on skits and plays, and you know, it's always like the 2 of them have not spent any time apart once they get together. So I want to make a note of that, and I thought the 2 was perfect. And then there is a round sticker to the right of that little journaling spot that has marshmallows on sticks, which is perfect because we did roast marshmallows on that trip. And there's a feather because there is a lot of wildlife up there. You can always find feathers anywhere you go. We have a lot of wild turkeys up there, so it's perfect to have feathers on this page. I will be adding a turquoise feather to the embellishment cluster that is down near the journaling spot, and that's going to be a turquoise one, and it'll be just popped out from underneath the tree sticker that's there, and that's a little bit hard to see because the tree is with a white outline, but I assure you it is a tree. And then all of the hearts that I glued down individually, they all have some dimensional foam adhesive on one corner of them. The ones that are on the left-hand page have it along the top, and the ones on the right-hand page have it on their outer edges. So that's going to add a little bit of dimension, and I really like the texture that it adds to the page, so it'll be perfect. And then I'm going to read to you the journaling. It says, "This was our first Girl Scout trip to the cabin. Not only did we see bear poop, snakes, remnants of woodpeckers working overtime, beetles and bugs, but the wildlife inside the cabin was just as lively. These girls put on some hilarious skits, played cards like crazy, and cooked up a storm. When this group gets together, it's a blast." And it sure was a blast. So that's going to bring us to the end of the video. I really appreciate your time today. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you come back for next month's version of Stretch the Sketch, and to see how everyone else stretched their sketch and their imagination while using a sketch. You can look down below in the comments, and the links to their videos and will be there, so you can follow along with the whole group. If you've enjoyed the video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up down below. If you're not already a subscriber, feel free to hit that subscribe button as well. And have a great day. Stick around for the close-ups. They're coming up in just a moment.